and welcome to another Edinburgh Watch Company video. My name is Jonathan and today we're doing another one of our very popular collection videos. So first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to join in. We've got lots to show you from Rolex, Cartier, JaegerLeCoultre, Panerai, Omega, Franck Muller, just all sorts. And as you know, all of these watches I've handpicked myself. So before we start, by means a quick wristwatch check. This watch I'm wearing today is my Omega, and I think some of you may have seen this watch before. It makes me feel very old to tell you that this is a watch I got for my 50th birthday 6 years ago. It's the Omega Seamaster. It was the first of the coaxial watches that came out in 1999, and it's a watch that hopefully I shall keep forever. So, by means of the watches, we'll come to them shortly. So what's been happening here at Edinburgh Watch Company? Well, hopefully you'll see, first of all, a little bit of colour on my face, because up here in Scotland, finally, after much anticipation, the sun has come out. And we've had some glorious weekends of sunshine, a little bit cloudy today, so in the studio shooting, it's not quite so bad. Aside from that, last month in March was our busiest month ever since we started the business back in 2014. And I know many of you watching this video are existing customers of mine, and we look forward to welcoming many of you new customers too. We couldn't do this without you. Those of you who've kindly offered us your watches, and of course those that have bought the beautiful Edinburgh Watch Companies for us. So sincerely, I thank you so much for that. On the topic of buying watches, of course we can't sell them unless we buy them. Now I literally cherry pick all the watches I buy, and we're always looking for stock. So if you've got something really nice, it's mainly Rolex we're trying to buy just now, so we're very low in stock. So if you've got a really nice Rolex with all the box and papers, then please just give me a call. There'll be a little messaging on the bottom of the screen later on that will give you our number, but of course you can reach me on the website and I'll talk to you directly and we'll do the very best we can for you. You may also be thinking about part exchanging the watch. Have a look at our collection and maybe see if we can do something special there for you too. So those of you again who've been watching for the last few years will know that while I love my watches, I'm also a big petrol head as well. Now this started from many years ago as a kid, learning to drive, enjoying doing some racing when I was a bit younger, and I'm very involved in the sort of motorsport scene up here in Scotland. Now, for the last couple of years, I have been a sponsor of the Scottish Motor Racing Club, a club I used to race my Fiesta Challenge car with back in the 1980s. And I'm the official timekeeper of the Scottish Motor Racing Club, and having spoken with them this year, we wanted to look to see how we could build that relationship. And I was invited to be the title sponsor for the Scottish Classic Sports and Saloon Championship. A great championship, probably 20 to 30 cars, running a series of races up here in Scotland, all sorts, and hopefully now that the COVID rules are being relaxed slightly, you'll have the chance to come and watch, and we look forward to seeing you there. So I'm really excited to be reinvesting back into motorsport and being involved with this fantastic challenge. Okay, so time to get back to some watches, and we're going to start off with a really gorgeous watch that I've just brought in, and this is from the very luxury brand Franck Muller. Now, prestigious brand, very popular over the last few years, particularly with this sort of curved torno type design, and this one is the Casablanca. Now this is a watch I would say size-wise that probably when it came out it may have been for a gentleman, and certainly could still be worn for a gentleman, but I think also it would be a lovely watch for a lady to wear as well. It's not too thick. You can see here, we just pop it on its side there. It's just a really lovely size. Manufactured in stainless steel. It has an automatic movement and the most gorgeous salmon dial there with the Arabic numbers on it. It's also got a very good lume on the hour hands and all the hour markers as well. And this is called the Casablanca. So an iconic look for the Franck Muller. You can see here with its leather strap with the stitching on going down the outside, like the contrast stitching. And then on the back here, you still have the sticker. Now this watch has never been worn, and we can just see there, if we just try and catch the light on it there, you can see it's got the Master of Complications, Casablanca, and 5850 on it. So a really lovely watch. Now although this watch hasn't been worn, during that sort of time, there's a possibility that the oils could have dried up in the movement. So we'll send this down to our watchmaker and get it looked at before it reached its new owner. But you can see here an absolutely gorgeous box here, and here you have the papers as well for it. They're actually undated papers, but as you can see there, that's all the Franck Muller paperwork you get there. They really do things properly and make the cases absolutely gorgeous. I think Rolex could learn a thing or two from them. So that's the first one we're going to talk about, and then we're going to go on to something for the divers. Now, this is another unworn watch we've come in. This one is from 2009, so give me just looking at my notes there, there's so many watches to talk to you about. And this is the JaegerLeCoultre, and it's the Master Compressor range. What's rather nice about this one is actually finished in titanium as well. And you can see there with the black dial, and then the sub dials here, little tips of blue on it as well. So a really, really attractive look to it overall. This bezel here, it's a unidirectional bezel, which of course is what you want for diving. And then we look at the side here, and you can see the pushers here, but they have this sort of iconic look to them there, where you turn these little pieces of steel at the side there, and they actually lock each of the pushers in the crown, of course, to ensure that the watch is waterproof. Case-wise, I'd say it's about 44mm, so a nice size, and I think for a diver's watch you want something of a reasonable size, particularly if you're going to be wearing it in the water, so everything is legible to see. Strap on it here, rubberized strap there, again all branded with JaegerLeCoultre, and the tang buckle on it too. Now I'll let you see this one on the wrist. I'm afraid the Franck Muller was a little bit small for me to try on, but there we are. This one, if I just hold that up to camera there, that just gives you an idea of wrist size, and then just hold it down on my wrist there, and you can get an idea of what it's like on the wrist. It's a really nice light watch, though, as being in titanium, and first one we've actually seen of these, and we've got this one priced, I think, around about the 5,000 mark. So I think that's, you know, to get a really good quality diver's watch for around about £5,000, I think it's a good buy. It's a really lovely watch. Now, sticking with the dive watch theme, we come to Omega, and this here is a 2013 Planet Ocean 600 meter. So this is, as you can see here, it's quite a big watch. It's a 45mm case size, I think 45.5 to be exact. But this also is in titanium. Now, we've had lots of Planet Oceans in through the years in stainless steel. Rarely see them in titanium. And I must admit, I absolutely love the watch, but when you have a stainless steel chronograph on a metal bracelet, you certainly know you're wearing it. This one here is fitted on a rubber strap with the white stitching running around the outside there, and you have the titanium deployant clasp there as well. And the camera may just pick that up, but we'll do some macro shots for you. You can actually see the clear glass back on it as well, so you can see this lovely movement in action. But it's really light to wear, and again, it has quite a presence on the wrist. Dial-wise, dark blue dial. The bezel here is a ceramic bezel, and like with the JaegerLeCoultre as a diver's watch, it's a unidirectional turn as well. And again, as you turn it here, it feels really nice, a nice quality. The pushers here, a little bit of blue on the outside for the start, stop, and the reset. And just when you start it and stop it, everything just feels really good. Powering this is an automatic coaxial movement, so decent power reserve on it as well. You can see here on the left-hand side there, you have that iconic helium escape valve there. This also just locks into the case as well. I'll show you this one on my wrist. So I've got just the perfect wrist for this at about 8 inches, and you can see there it works really well. A lovely color scheme. Very easy to read. Again, very powerful lume on that. Seamaster writing in orange. There just gives you an idea on the wrist there. It is quite prominent, there's no hiding that. I mean, as a 600 meter watch, Omega have done what they've needed to make sure this can withstand those extreme pressures. So no, it's not one that fits underneath your shirt cuff, but on your wrist it looks absolutely fantastic. Great watch for summer. Also, it's very well priced as well. I think we've got this one at about £4,500. So I think that is a lot of watch for the money, and especially from such a famous and iconic brand. Now we're going to move on to Panerai. We've actually got some nice Panerais in our collection just now. We have got a Luminor Marina, and we have got a couple of Radiomirs. We've got the Radiomir base that's just come in, which is just a great looking Panerai for a really sensible budget. But then the other day we got this watch traded back into us, and this is another Panerai Radiomir. It's the Codepam00995. It's an automatic watch, and it retails about £9,800. So certainly new. It is quite an expensive watch, but it has this green dial, and it is absolutely lovely. It's a sandwich dial as well, and I think it's got the P4000 movement in the back of it, and you can see there it has that glass crystal back to it as well, so you can see the rotor and everything going on there. I think it works very well. I think the sort of cream coloured hands contrasting against the green dial, as I say, I mentioned earlier, that sandwich dial. And it's fitted here to a rather nice leather strap. It's like a rich dark brown calf leather strap with the stitching there going down the edges, you can see there. And likewise on the back there with the branding on it. It's on the tang buckle. What's also rather nice with this one, and it's never been used, it's actually got a really smart sort of cream canvas strap with it as well, which gives the watch a completely different look. So just look at it there, and that's never been worn, that's in its box. Quite typical of Panerai. I know a lot of the Panerais, when we get them coming in, they often come with a few straps if the owners have, you know, had fun changing them. But this one's about, I think, about 45mm, so again, good size, but being the Radiomir, not quite so thick on the wrist as the Luminor Marina. So it's still a waterproof watch, crown screws into it there. And I think it's great fun. It's actually the first one we've actually seen with a green dial. You can really sort of domed glass on it as well. So I think it's a great looking watch, and green is very much the in vogue colour these days. So that's a good one. And I know just off the top of my head, we've got this one at 6,995. So it's a really good saving. Now all the photographs are on the website of that one. I remember taking pictures of that one. These Panerais are really hard to photograph because of all the sort of reflections that come off the glass, but great looking watch. And I think a very good reason why to consider buying pre-owned with Panerai. We all know Rolex, the residuals are so strong. The Omegas, the Panerais, the Cartiers, the Bremonts, strong, but not in the same level as Rolex. So it's your choice at the end of the day whether you want to go and buy new and have the pleasure of that brand new watch on the wrist. But getting something like that, which is 2020, only been worn a handful of times, and saving a massive saving off list price, it's certainly going to cushion that depreciation if and when you do consider reselling it. So from a 45mm classic Officine Panerai, we go to another classic watch, and that is Tudor. And this one we have here is the Black Bay 58, and rather nice watch here mounted onto the sort of dark brown leather strap. Now the 58, in fact let's go back even before then, because of course Tudor, who are owned by the same parent company as Rolex, a fantastic brand, a brand that was in the UK for many years, and then they disappeared. And they came back, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, something like that, with the Black Bay range. Really, it's all about the Black Bay range in Tudor. I mean, they are very popular. Traditionally with the 41s, and now they've got some new chronographs that came out recently. But the Black Bay 58 was a great seller. Traditional Tudor Black Bay heritage is around 41mm. This is 39, and it has the most gorgeous color set in it with the black dial there and the cream hands with the gold markers around each of the hour markers there in the hands, and a little red tip at the top there. It's a super looking watch and very popular. Of course you can get this with a bracelet, you can get it with the blue dial. We've actually got a blue dial one on a bracelet as well if you fancy that one. But this one here on its leather strap, really, really comfortable to wear. You can just see there at the top there, it's thicker and it tapers down, so certainly a really good quality strap. It has the deployant clasp there, you can see with the Tudor branding on it there, and just a really, really comfortable watch to wear. When the Tudor Black Bay 58 came out in blue, I actually bought a new one and really quite enjoyed wearing that for a few months. But you can see there, that's a bit of a wrist shot for you. Lovely looking watch, quite fairly narrow case lugs, stainless steel. This is waterproof, I think, down to around about 200 meters. Of course, it's an automatic as well, and of course a 70-hour power reserve. And the movement in this one is actually the in-house chronometer movement as well. So this one, I think, around about 2295, so a little bit of a saving off list there. In beautiful condition. I think this one's 2020, and just a great fun watch to wear. It really is. This crown screws down into the side there, and yeah, great looking watch. Nice thing about this too as well is it lends itself to being worn with so many straps, and if you love your NATO straps, I really encourage you to go and check out our friends at Buck and Jack, where Adrian has got a lovely range of NATO straps, but again, any leather strap would look lovely on it. It's a really good watch. So before we go on to our Rolexes, we have got a Cartier to share with you. You can see here its beautiful box here. Now this particular watch is one that we bought as part of a collection, and it's the Cartier Roadster. Now this watch is no longer made, and it was a really good looking watch. I must admit, I love what Cartier do. The Calibre de Cartier, the Roadster, they have some really iconic looking watches. This one, however, is really special. It's like a bit of a barn find really, because there are a few on the market, but this one is unworn. I think it was bought originally in around about 2006, and it's just lied in its box since then. And you can see here, has the lovely black dial, you've got the Roman numerals, you've got the sub dials there in the same color, and then this gorgeous shape to it. It really is just lovely. Quite a thick watch to wear, you can see there. And these, look at that lovely design on the side here, quite unique. Crown actually locks into the side there as well, so this is a waterproof watch. Something we really encourage, actually, I think, by means of waterproof watches. My kind of view is, if it's a waterproof watch and the crown screws into the side of the case, then you're kind of okay. If the crown doesn't screw in, probably keep it out of the water. Well, that's what my watchmaker tells me. Bracelet wise, really nice. You have got polished edges there, and then you've got satin running down through the middle. And it sits here on a deployant clasp. You can still see the Cartier sticker on the back there. And again, just a perfect wrist for this 8-inch wrist. It works really well. And I can just show you there. Look at that. I don't actually think we're going to have this watch very long. I think for someone wanting a Roadster, chances of getting a new one are really unlikely. You can see it's quite thick, but it looks absolutely lovely. Such an iconic design. Again, I think you'll get a good loom off the hour markers as well, and the hour hands. But yeah, a really lovely watch. And you can see that it comes with all its box and papers. In fact, every watch we've got here has got box and papers. All the watches on our website have box and papers. This one again is going to go away and get checked before we offer it to you. As I say, we've just got this in. And again, this collection video, why do we do this? Well, it's our chance just to give you a quick heads up of the stock as it comes in. We often do full feature videos on all of these watches, but they're coming and going so quickly, and sometimes before we can get the collection video up, they're gone as well. But it's the best we can do to give you a heads up. We often put our watches up on Instagram as well, and on Facebook too, so if you use either of those social media platforms, then please go and have a look there, and we take some sort of quick snapshots, give you a bit of a heads up as well. I must admit, I don't do a lot of mail shots. I don't like to bombard customers with mail shots, but try to do one when I can find time. It's a good way of us staying in touch with our customers. And if you're not a customer yet, you can still subscribe to our emailing list, and we will send you out a quick note and advise you what we're up to. Okay, so for the Rolex fanboys and fangirls out there, thank you for your patience. If you've skipped through to this point in the video, I can understand that. If it's just Rolex you like. But do you know, I wanted to share these watches with you because for me, it's not all about Rolex. I love watches, period. And I think there's some great brands out there and great styles. And that's why I wanted to share them with you. And hopefully you can understand my passion as to why I bought that watch, because I know I'm perhaps a bit narrow-minded at times, but I only like to buy watches I like that I think you'll like. And normally we get it right. We do have a few old friends there, of which some of them I should add are on the website there, with some sale items as well. I think we've got a Nobel, we've got a Bremont, we've got a Breitling there. Really, really good prices. In fact, they're pretty well near cost price on them. So go and take a look on them. Okay, so before we go into the Rolex sports range, I've got something really lovely here to share with you. And again, my sincere apologies to the ladies watching this today. My collection is terrible. So if you've got a Rolex ladies watch, help me, let me have it, because I do need some more watches. This watch I'm going to show you now is a classic. It's one of the models from the Rolex Cellini collection. And this one was bought brand new in 2004. And as you can see here, you have its original outer box here. You have the original chronometer certificate. You have this beautiful Rolex presentation box there, and then inside we have this absolute jewel of a watch here. Now this watch I think has had just one owner from new. It came in literally a couple of weeks ago. Size wise, I would say it's round about 32mm, so probably at the time when this watch was bought, it would have been bought by a gentleman as a nice dress watch, something a bit special. It's hand wound. And it's also finished in solid 18 karat gold. Beautiful dial. Now you'll see through the macro footage that Scott has kindly shot for me. And Scott, for those of you that don't know, he's the talent that sits behind the camera and creates these lovely videos for me. Notice I said nothing about the talent in front of the camera. But you've got this beautiful Jubilee dial, and it says Rolex, Rolex, Rolex around it, across the dial there. You've got that Rolex crown at the top. You've got the Roman numerals. As I say, about 32mm. So where do I think this watch will go? It could easily go to a lady. It'd be perfect for a lady wanting a dress watch, who doesn't mind winding it up. But equally, it may go to a gentleman wanting that classic dress watch look. Not wanting these sports watches, not wanting the new style Cellini, but just something that's small and delicate and classic. What a great watch it would be to go to the Goodwood revival and something like that. The strap here, beautiful leather strap. It's an alligator strap, I think made by Hirsch, but importantly at the end there you can see it's got that original 18 karat Rolex tang buckle on it. And you can see on the back there, the Rolex Cellini engraved on it, and 18 karat. So a really, really pretty watch. My wrist is certainly too big for it, but let you just shows you what it's like there with a nice shirt. A really absolutely gorgeous watch, and super, super thin, as you can see me holding it up to camera there. So there we are, that one there, around about 4,995. So for a solid gold Rolex Cellini, something that's classical, that will never go out of time. Space in the center of the watch there as well. Maybe you want to engrave it, maybe as a gift for someone. That's definitely something to think about. Okay, so let's talk Rolex sports watches. This is very much my bread and butter. I haven't got many left. So again, just a plug, please. If you've got a lovely Rolex sports watch, you may be thinking about selling it, maybe thinking about upgrading it, give me a shout. I would love to buy it, and we'll make the whole sales process of you selling it to us as easy as it can be. Right, we're going to start off with the Rolex Sea Dweller. And now this watch is a 2021 unworn watch. And we have got it at a really, really good price, just a shade over list price. Probably one of the best value watches in the pre-owned market across the UK. So let's go back to 2017. Rolex have for many years, and still do have, the classic Rolex Submariner, a 40mm watch, now of course 41mm. They brought out something new to celebrate the Sea Dweller, a watch, a classic diver's Rolex watch that had been out for 50 years. So to do that, they made something very special. And we've got one of those to show you a little bit later on. And the 50th anniversary watch came out with a 43mm stainless steel case. it had this new movement in it with the 70-hour power reserve, accurate within minus to plus 2 seconds per day. This new movement that was more resistance to shock and magnetism. A new glide lock bracelet with a wider bracelet at the top, and just incredibly comfortable to wear. The size, of course, that little bit bigger, a little bit thicker than the regular Submariner for someone that felt maybe the Sub was too small or wanted something a bit different. Well, the Sea Dweller filled that spot absolutely perfectly. And then, was it last year? Rolex brought out something completely left field, something we wouldn't have expected. They introduced stainless steel and gold into the Sea Dweller, something we've never seen before. But only last month, Rolex did the same thing. In fact, earlier this month, they brought out the Explorer in steel and gold. Though we would never have predicted that. But look, Rolex know what they're doing. They know there's a market for it, and the Sea Dweller in steel and gold is a good seller. Probably not as popular as the stainless steel one because that's the iconic one, but equally, they don't quite command the same prices that the stainless steel ones do either. So there we are. That is a little bit of background to the watch. Let's have a look at it now. Now, for a full-length video on this, again, if you look back through our YouTube channel, of which there are over 500 videos there, I'm pretty sure we've done a video on this watch before, a full video of it, so you can see it all in great detail. But first of all, top down, it has the sapphire crystal here. The bezel here in solid 18 karat gold. Ceramic insert inlaid with gold. Lovely big hour markers here. Really strong luminous coating on it as well, making this watch really easy to read at night time. The case lugs here, not too thick, probably slimmer than the Submariner 40mm and probably more aligned to the 41mm Submariner that's out today. As we turn this bezel here, you just feel the quality of engineering that Rolex put into everything they do. It's an absolute delight to join. It really is quite special. Aside from that, quick look at the side of the case there, and you can see you have the helium escape valve there. Automatic, completely flush, slightly different from what you see the Omega with the helium escape valve that protrudes from the outside here. So a really, really nice feature for those that may use it for diving. Now, a change for the Sea Dweller was the introduction of the Cyclops on the glass here. So this gives you a magnification of 2.5 times. The traditional Sea Dweller and the deep sea, they'd never had a Cyclops, so that was something completely new and different. The Sea Dweller writing here in gold compared to white elsewhere on the dial. You can see here on the side there, you've got the crown guards, and then here, solid gold Rolex crown that screws into the side of the case with its triplock crown. Here we have the Oyster bracelet. Now I'd say traditionally you'd find them on all of the sports watches. Well, again, Rolex have changed by introducing the Jubilee bracelet onto the Pepsi, and most recently introducing the Jubilee bracelet onto the Sky Dweller as well. But they do look cracking, but the Oyster is your classic. A very, very strong bracelet there. And as I say, this features the glide lock clasp. On the wrist, beautiful watch to wear. It really is. Just give you a quick look there. And there, just gives you an idea of its thickness. So I think as an overall, an all-rounder, it's a really good watch. Top of my head, the price on this one is $13,495, and the watch costs new $13,300, I think. Now, forgive me if I'm slightly inaccurate here, but I'm pretty close in pricing, and I would encourage you to see if you can find another 2021 watch on the pre-owned market than that. Now, you may be lucky, you might find one in a Rolex window, but there's not many of them around. So we talked about the Sea Dweller there. This one here, I won't go into all the detail of this one because those of you will know it's exactly the same as the one we've just shown you, but this one here in stainless steel. You can see here with the black dial and the red writing, this is a 2020 unworn Sea Dweller. This is the 50th anniversary watch, and it's just a superb looking watch. In fact, let me just bring the two together That'll test the camera out, just see if it can focus on them both there. But you can just see them. See that contrast. So I think it very much depends, you know, are you looking for that stainless steel watch? Are you considering bimetal? But yeah, this is a good one. I've had the chance to wear quite a few of these ones as they've come in, and they are superb watches, they really are. That little bit bigger than the Submariner, but quite a bit smaller to wear than the Deep Sea. Although I absolutely love the Deep Sea, I think this one is just that bit more wearable for every day. So that's a lovely one too. And again, this of course has that glide lock clasp on it, which makes it just so easy to do. You can just see if I pull that down there and slide, it's so easy to adjust. Again, full videos. We've done lots of reviews of the 50th anniversary as well. So please go and check out our YouTube channel and have a look at that. Okay, so there's a couple of the 43mm dive watches. Let's just stick with the dive watch theme, and we come to Submariner. Now this is one of two Submariners I've got in stock just now. This particular one we've got here is a 2011 watch. It's a one owner watch. It's been really, really well cared for. I remember when this watch came in from the customer, it had a card in it that had come from Rolex because it got sent back to Rolex for a service. And the condition of it was absolutely knockout. It was just like it had never been touched. And I remember the customer saying, Jonathan, I really look after my watches, and I'm always wearing a jumper so the watch barely sees any light, and it was really, really lovely. So this actually is about the time when this watch came out, around about 2011. And they stopped, of course, in 2020. So, in fact, maybe it's 2010, the sub date came out. There or thereabouts. So this is the classic 40mm. And the other one we've got is right at the opposite end of the spectrum in age, because I have got a very, very late 2020 sub date as well. Now that I would see possibly going to a collector, someone that's wanting to get one of the very last of them before the 41mm came out. But this is a beautiful watch. So this has the automatic chronometer movement in it. This one will be accurate to within -4 to +6 seconds per day. The 2021, they've made some slight tweaks in the movement, and they've got that down to ±2 seconds per day. Now, for me personally, a few seconds per day doesn't make a material difference to my life, but if you want the more accurate one, we've got that one, I think at about 11,500, so about £1,500 more. By means of justifying that little bit more, well, you've got probably about 4.5 years of warranty with Rolex left on this one. This one we have here has got a year's warranty on it. So that in itself, I think, carries some value to it. And of course, it's a newer watch as well. But apart from that, aesthetically exactly the same. The stainless steel bezel here, black ceramic insert, again, that was a big change they made to this watch when it came out, from the classic ceramic, non-ceramic with the aluminium bezel inserts. Nice big lume for luminous, for nighttime reading, the 2.5 times magnification, the 904L grade stainless steel, and the glide lock clasp there as well. Now this one is just really in lovely, lovely condition. So there's that one there. So that is the last of our actual dive watches. And then I'm going to show you this little beauty that came in the other day. Now this is an unworn Rolex Oyster Perpetual. And this, I'm very biased to blue. I love this watch. Oyster Perpetual range has been out for a long time, but in September, Rolex shocked and delighted us with the introduction of the new Oyster Perpetual range. This particular one we have here in 41mm, which I think is probably the most popular size, and they brought out some absolutely knockout colors, from silver to black to dark blue to red to green to yellow, and of course that turquoise color, affectionately known as the Tiffany color one, which just makes incredible prices. List on this watch is 4,700. We have this one for 6,695, which I think is about right in the market. This is a 2020 unworn watch. I think it's a great entry level into the Rolex market. Really, I think it does everything you need a watch to do, unless you need the date. It's automatic, It's a 70-hour power reserve. It's waterproof to 100 meters. Lovely stainless steel bracelet. Really easy to read. Good strong lume on the hour hands and the hour markers. And just a classic Rolex. Case size 41 mil. So of course the biggest one before was the 39. And this one is just that little change. Again, I've done a full video on this one too, so you can see that if you look back. But the stainless steel satinized bracelet, you can see the way it tapers down there. It's so comfortable to wear. It just feels quite light on the wrist. You're not really aware of it, but when you look at it, you just delight in that beautiful design of a Rolex Oyster Perpetual. Great watch, I think, maybe for an 18th, 21st anniversary gift. Maybe if you're an employer looking to reward staff for time in service, be a fantastic watch. That gives you an idea of what it's like. You can see how thin it is. So a superb watch, I think it is. And I think, although it's over list, because we had to pay over list to buy it, it's not anywhere near the sort of prices that the green ones, the reds, the yellows, and the Tiffany one makes. So relatively good value. So we come to our last watch, and thank you so much for bearing with me. We have a watch best known as a superhero character. It is the Rolex Batman. Affectionate name for the Rolex GMT Master II, the BLNR, a watch that was introduced by Rolex, I think, in 2013. Now, I'm sure many of you watching this, you'll know the history of the GMT Master. It's a watch that was brought out by Rolex probably back in the 1950s as a tool watch, particularly for those people traveling around the world, as it had a dual time zone, and probably the Rolex Pepsi is the one that you'll think of first. Now, the GMT Master was around in many configurations through the years, and until 2007 when they introduced this model, the 116710. In doing that, they gave it a new case design, still 40 mil, slightly wider case lugs here at the bottom. They, however, replaced the aluminium bezel insert and they put a ceramic bezel insert in it as well. Now, why? Well, they're doing that in many of their models now to try and make the watch stronger and more resistant to scratches and chips. They also replaced the movement. It used to be a 3185 movement in the GMT Master, and then they put the 3186 into this one. And that is giving you an accuracy of this one, probably, this one's a 2017, so it's that balance between probably -4, +6, maybe ±2. It's going to be pretty accurate anyhow. The bracelet on this one, really, really nice in stainless steel with the polished center links. So I think that gives it a sort of sporty yet dressy look. And then it features here the Easy Link clasp there, which just gives you that little bit more space on the bracelet. Now, back in 2007 was when this model came out, and it came out with a black bezel on it. And that stayed around until 2019, I think, when the new GMT Master came out with the Pepsi and what they called a back girl. And of course, they changed the bracelet from Oyster to Jubilee, popped another new movement in it with the 70-hour power reserve on it. And this on the Oyster bracelet stopped. Well, it stopped until earlier this month when Rolex, to our surprise again, because we never know what they're going to do, reintroduced the Oyster bracelet on the GMT Master, as well as a Jubilee, giving you a choice. And they did that with the blue-black, what we call the Batman, and also onto the Pepsi as well. So a great looking watch, not too thick as well to wear, very, very comfortable. You know I love blue. I think the color scheme works very well. The second time zone hand in blue, again, that contrasts so beautifully against the black dial. Date function there. Waterproof down to 100 meters, a chronometer movement in it. The crown screws into the side of the case. It kind of does everything you need it to do. It really does. And wow, look at it on the wrist here. It's lovely. I've worn loads of Batmans. I really like them. I'm going to be honest, I'm an Oyster guy. I do like the Oyster bracelet. I think it just works so well. But then the Jubilee's lovely too. And there you go. You can kind of see it on the wrist there. So wow, what a watch to finish with. So there we are. That is today's collection in very late April. Sorry it's been a wee while since We've done a collection video, but it has been absolutely manic here with watches coming and going. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch today. Please come back and join us soon. We'll have more watches coming along. And as I say, if you're on Facebook, on Instagram, go and check us out there. We are heading up to probably 9,000 viewers, which for a fairly niche market is a great number of subscribers. And I thank you so much for supporting what we do here at Edinburgh Watch Company. I strongly deny being a YouTuber. I have people telling me I am a bit now, but I'm a watch dealer who I really enjoy creating these videos. I'm actually passionate about my watches, and I love the feedback that you very, very kindly share with me. With the way the algorithms are working just now with YouTube, it's a crazy thing here, but it really does make a difference if you like a video. Also really makes a difference if you share comments as well. So tell us what you're up to, you know, what watches are you wearing? Give us your thoughts on these watches here. I don't mind, just be honest about them. And if there's anything there you've seen you like, or anything you've seen on the website, then just give me a call. What I try to do here, I mean, with Edinburgh Watch Company, you're going to get through to me, and I will give you my undivided attention and try and do the absolute best we can for you in what we do. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to click like and subscribe, and come back and see us soon. Take care.